Morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are watching from. It's Esther here again, and of course, what we are gonna be doing is reading of the Bible. So yes, it's gonna be like reading the Bible with me. Yeah, we're gonna read the Bible, discuss about it, and you are going to drop your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. So I'm actually new here, and please I hope you bear with me. Okay, so today's story is coming from the book of Daniel. The book of Daniel, chapter 1. The book of Daniel, chapter 1. So we are going to read because you are going to be reading with me. You understand? We're going to read the whole story of the book of Daniel, chapter 1. And after reading the chapter 1, we're going to talk about it, know our thoughts, and of course, pray about it. Thank you. And please, before we go into it, please don't forget to subscribe. Please subscribe. I'm begging you. Okay. In the third year that Jehoiakim was king of Judah, King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylonia attacked Jerusalem and surrounded the city. The Lord let him capture Jehoiakim and seize some of the temple treasures. He took some prisoners back with him to the temple of his gods in Babylon and put the captured treasures in the temple storerooms. The king ordered Ashpenaz, his chief officials, to select from among the Israelite exiles some young men of the royal family and of noble families. They had to be handsome, intelligent, well-trained, quick to learn, and free from physical defects so that they would be qualified to serve in the royal court. Ashpenaz was to teach them to read and write the Babylonian language. The king also gave orders that every day they were to be given the same food and wine as the members of the royal court. After 3 years of this training, they were to appear before the king. Among those chosen were Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, all of whom were the tribe of Judah. The chief officials gave them new names: Belteshazzar, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Daniel made up his mind not to let himself become ritually unclean by eating the food and drinking the wine of the royal court. So he asked Ashpenaz to help him. And God made Ashpenaz sympathetic to Daniel. Ashpenaz, however, was afraid of the king, so he said to Daniel, "The king has decided what you are to eat and drink, and if you don't look as fit as the other young men, he may kill me." So Daniel went. So Daniel went. So of course, so Daniel went to the guard whom Ashpenaz has placed in charge of him and his three friends. This is for the 10 days, he said. "Give us vegetables to eat and waters to drink. Then compare us with the young men who are eating the food of the royal court and base your decision on how we look." He agreed to let them try it for 10 days. When the time was up, they looked healthier and stronger than all those who had been eating the royal food. So from then on, the guard let them continue to eat vegetables instead of what the king provided. God gave the four young men knowledge and skill in literature and philosophy. In addition, he gave Daniel skill in interpreting visions and dreams. At the end of the 3 years set by the king, Ashpenaz took all the young men to Nebuchadnezzar. The king talked with them all, and Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah impressed him more than any of the others, so they became members of the king's court. No matter what the questions the king asked or what problem he raised, these four knew 10 times more than any fortune teller or magician in his whole kingdom. Daniel remained at the royal court until Cyrus, the emperor of Persia, conquered Babylonia. Hmm. So, of course, we are done for today. Yeah, but before then, there's some lessons I think, of course, I've seen and learned from reading this chapter, which I also believe you have also learned some lessons in this chapter. Whatever, you can drop your comment in the comment section, your thoughts on this chapter of the Bible, your thoughts and comments, what you've learned, you can drop it. If you read the Bible, if you read the story, the book of Daniel, chapter 1, that's from chapter 1, you see that he said, in the third year that Jehoiakim was king of Judah, King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon attacked Jerusalem and surrounded what? The city, right? Okay, it goes ahead and say, the Lord let him capture King Jehoiakim and seize some of the treasure. The Lord let him. This is not like the devil's doing or any demon or any evil person or whatever. It is the Lord. This is his will. The Lord let him capture King Joachim and seize some of the temple treasures. He took some prisoners back with him to the temple of his gods in Babylon and put the captured treasure in the temple storeroom. Okay, what I have learned so far from this verse or from the Bible in the book of Daniel, chapter 1, is that there are certain things that happen in our lives, you understand? There are certain things that will happen in our life. We see that a very bad thing. We see that it's going to bring an end to us. It's going to make, like, we see it as bad luck. But sometimes that bad thing that is happening to you, God could be the one that allowed it. He allowed it for a bigger purpose. Look at the book of Daniel. God allowed what? King Jehoiakim to be captured. When he was captured, of course, normally it seems as though they were to be those who have been, like, maybe the other people in the who are people after being captured. Since of course would be difficult for the people of the community of the town, all of that. But God has a bigger purpose. God wanted to raise people. God wanted to raise people. So of course, he let that happen for a bigger purpose. Another thing I've also learned in the book of Daniel, chapter 1, is that it is important to eat healthy, even though it is not categorically stated there, but it shows that eating healthy is better than just enjoyment. We might eat anything we want, enjoy anything we want, because we feel like, oh, of course, it's nice, the food is delicious, it's nice, you should enjoy all of that. But it's not the matter of trying to eat and fill your stomach. It's what you are eating. Is it healthy? Is it good for your heart? Just imagine after the Daniel ate what he's supposed to eat, what he feels was okay for him to eat that was healthy, of course, vegetables, all that, he looks better and healthy. That's another thing I've learned. And another thing I have learned is that if you have decided to serve God, if you have decided to worship God, if you have decided to do the way God wants, God will send a helper to you, even if it might seem impossible. Look at Daniel. Daniel have already made up his mind about not eating the food and drinks the king has ordered them. So of course he told his other colleague, and of course God made him what? Sympathize with Daniel. It is not ordinary, because in a normal case you'd be like, no, the king will kill me. On a normal case, if it is you, of course, you would not want to be on the bad side of the king. But of course, God made him sympathize with Daniel. And this led to what? You already know. So sometimes when you feel like You want to do the things of God, you want to go according to the will of God, and to seem as if it is impossible. Remember, with God, all things are possible. God is the ultimate. So we are going to end it today and continue another day. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. I hope and I pray that the story of Daniel, you have learned something from it. And please, this is my first video, official video, and if there's anything I'm doing that you feel is not appropriate, you can drop your comment there. I'm open to criticism. Thank you very much. Have a lovely day. Bye.